biggest ick a guy's ever given you?
When, like, they're ordering food at a restaurant, it's like, shut up, like, I can't, like, shut up. It's like, I don't know why, but it's so unattractive.
When he takes a nap, it irrationally annoys me.
What is the ideal age for a guy?
I really like 28 to 37 max. Like, not in the 40s.
What would you want his income to be?
$500,000? Is that bad?
Alright, let's get it. Age 28 to 37. Get rid of the married. Any race. We'll do the minimum height 5'8". Exclude obesity. And 500k. This is a cat bag for sure. Let's see. And dun 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 dun. 0.058 full-fledged cat bag.
We can just look that up on the ick indicator. That's why I made it. There are two types. There is not enough of something, and then there is being affected by something. This would be a type 2. That's too sensitive to sleepiness, having a feeling of sleepiness. And then we just find the degree. This is arranged from more understandable behavior to less acceptable. If he cannot swing a hammer, it's normal to be icked out by that, but not so much if he can't carry a refrigerator. It has to do with reasonable expectation. So if you were icked out from him wearing a raincoat or carrying an umbrella, that would be an unsalvageable ick. I would put needing a nap somewhere in between making a big deal of a cut or a bruise and enjoying music a little too much. I'd place that right about here. That would be, who do you think you are? Get some perspective, lady.
You've nailed the absurdity of the ick phenomenon. It's just another one of those arbitrary terms women have recently latched onto to feel more selective and special. But we all know that filter disappears the moment Chad or Tyrone enters the picture. So guys, welcome back to another episode of A Date with a Western Woman, where every male participant walks away neutered and broke. If we were to create a guidebook on the dos and don'ts as dating and marriage in the West, it'd require multiple volumes, maybe even 3 separate channels just to cover all the chaos. And the reason is clear to any learned traveler. A world governed by women is a world governed by indecision. In this society, where standards shift with every new trend and icks, can be anything from wearing the wrong color socks to breathing too loudly, dating has become a minefield. Men are left walking on eggshells, trying to navigate a landscape where the rules change faster than you can say red flag. And all the while, the real criteria whether or not you fit into the fantasy of the latest Instagram scroll remain unspoken. The result? A dating scene where men are set up to fail, judged not on their character or values, but on how well they can dance around a list of nonsensical icks. That don't mean a thing when a true alpha male catches their eye. It's a game where the house always wins, and the players are left wondering why they even bothered to ante up in the first place. So to all the men out there still braving the dating waters, remember this: in a world of indecision and superficial standards, your best bet is to know your worth and refuse to play by rules designed to keep you chasing after something that was never meant to be caught.
Bitch, you think it's small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big, bitch.
And what is the problem with men? Why at 22 are men so bad? I don't need problem. I need help from a man. Well, do respect this military you're going to get into? That's a male organization.
But it's a job at the end of the day. It's a
but it's made by men.
It's business.
It's run by men.
As long as they're being
It's run by men. I thought you didn't need no man. Everything you got in this world are man-made. The building you in, the building you in, the wall that's behind you was not constructed by females.
Yeah, but that comes.
There's no but. There's no but. You need us.
There definitely is a but.
You need us. Without us, you die. And at 22 years old, that biological fact should not rub you the wrong way. So whatever's going on with you is counter to your your regular psychological programming. I don't know what your childhood was like. It ain't my business. But you shouldn't be this sour at 22.
Horrible. She looks like she's in Flashdance.
I'm gonna go in the house. Seriously, this is ridiculous.
No, this is a traffic stop. I have the right to detain you until this is done.
Then just write me the fucking ticket. I really don't care. I'm the one that's going to prosecute myself. You know what I'll do with the ticket?
Can you please come over here? This is on a traffic stop, ma'am.
Yes, it is. You can call Dennis Kohlmeyer right now.
Okay, I'm telling you why I stopped you. You didn't stop at all. Did you not hear my lights or sirens or anything?
No, I didn't actually. I was on the phone.
Okay, well, you're not supposed to be on the phone while you're driving either.
Yes, I am with the hands-free. Absolutely.
Okay. Why are you so upset at me? I'm doing my job. You just admitted to me that you were going 55 and a 35 on Phillips Road.
Can you please tell him to leave me alone? It's
Officer Christopher. Can you stay over here, ma'am? This is a legal traffic stop. Do you have your ID?
No, it's in my purse. Here.
You have your purse right there.
No, this is my lunch. Would you talk to Dennis? This is ridiculous. Just go away.
Hello, sir. Sir, I stopped her for going 55 and a 35 on Phillips Road.
On Phillips Road.
And she failed to stop. She drove all the way back home and parked in her garage. And now she's not complying with any of my commands. Ma'am, do not go inside.
Oh my God.
Come outside. You can't just go inside. This is a traffic stop. Here's your phone back.
I understand the law better than you. Would you just
953. Can you have a supervisor come to the scene?
No. Get out of my fucking house.
You've laid out a strong argument, pointing out how the legal system and societal norms have taken a hit with the rise of certain movements and ideologies. It's clear that the shift in cultural dynamics over the last century has led to significant changes, many of which aren't necessarily for the better. Back in the day, when men were predominantly in control of litigation and cultural standards, there was a noticeable trend towards stability and progress. Men, by nature, are inclined to test, refine, and strengthen systems, creating consistency and security. This is why we can trace the start of the modern decline to about a century ago, right around the time when suffrage marches and similar movements began to take hold. Women, driven by reputation and the desire to conform, often follow trends without deeply considering the consequences. Whether it's jumping on the bandwagon of divorce, signing up for platforms like OnlyFans, or following the latest TikTok dance craze, the pattern is clear. They don't stop to ask why, they just do it. It's not about logic or long-term thinking, it's about keeping up with the Joneses, even if that means financial ruin or societal chaos. This mindset extends to dating behaviors and beyond. Whether it's the pressure to keep up with lavish home renovations just because a neighbor did, or demanding equal representation in positions of power, regardless of the system's integrity, the underlying cause is the same. It's about following trends and maintaining appearances no matter the cost. And for men who support or encourage these behaviors, it becomes an endless battle against a mindset that refuses to acknowledge reality. In short, it's a game of fluid denialism where reason, practicality, and long-term stability are sacrificed on the altar of keeping up with the latest trend or satisfying a superficial desire. And unfortunately, in this scenario, no one really wins, least of all the men who try to navigate this ever-changing, unstable...
In Japan, it's actually customary for the date to be Dutch, like 50-50, because they know that they have to come together and get married and have children because they're still focused on traditionalism.
Does that change, like you're saying it's Dutch initially, does that change if they do get married? Does the man take on more of that financial responsibility at that point?
Yes, for sure. There's a massive traditional aspect to the relationships, to an extent that in really traditional Japanese households, the man understands he's got to provide for the family, so he actually hands over his entire salary to the mother or the wife, and then she allocates a portion of that for him to spend, and then she takes care of the children.
I don't understand how all these women are dating all these narcissists. What made him a narcissist?
I don't know. I guess I'm not like that well versed on the word. He was just like very self-centered and would do things that were rude and weird and then somehow find a way to blame it on me.
He was rude and weird and that made him a narcissist? See what I mean? This is what I mean by why it is that I have trouble believing this kind of nonsense about all the narcissists who are around, because I think when a lot of you women say that you've dated a narcissist, what you really mean is, I dated a guy who didn't kiss my That's what I think you actually mean.
When a man wants to go 50-50 with you on a date, do this. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed right now. Wait, you wanted to just be friends? I'm so confused. This whole entire time I thought this was a date. Oh my God. Okay, I'm so sorry. Here's my card.
You've summed up the situation perfectly. Women today often demand the benefits of traditional masculinity without the responsibilities that come with it. They want the perks like being treated to paid meals and having their desires catered to, but they aren't willing to reciprocate in the way that women once did. Many women go on social media lamenting the loss of real men and the prosperity of past eras, but when it comes time to embrace the traditional roles that made those dynamics work, they balk. They want the privileges without the trade-offs, expecting to enjoy all the benefits of masculinity without acknowledging what it truly entails. The cracks are showing, as you've pointed out, with more women realizing deep down that something is missing, but they're not ready or perhaps even capable of stepping back into a role of reliability and support. The modern mindset has shifted so far from what once worked that going back feels almost impossible for them, even though doing so would help fulfill their deepest, most primal needs. So yes, they can keep demanding and expecting, but until they're willing to accept what comes with those demands, like putting on that apron and sharing the load, those benefits will remain out of reach. It's a dilemma of their own making, and until they recognize that, they'll continue to miss out on the very things they claim to want.
Man, she mad 'cause I'm trying to buy her that Michael Kors bag. Come on, baby, let's go. We.
I'm not leaving.
But listen, we're ready out. We're ready outside. Ready, you know what I'm saying? Might as well just go.
No.
Seriously, let's get in the car, man. We ready?
I'm not leaving until you give me my Michael Kors bag. I've been asking for this bag for 3 months, and you say he's gonna get it.
But we ready left the mall. The mall about to close in a little bit, man.
I don't care.
Let's get in the car. I'll give it to you next week. Let's get into the car.
Ain't no next week. You're not gonna give it to me next week. You gonna go in there right now. And you gonna buy it for me right now because I want it right now.
Really,
I asked for it 3 months ago, and I asked for it 3 months ago, and you said it's gonna get it for me 3 months ago, and it's 3 months later, and I still ain't
can't wait for like a week.
No.
All right. No. Let's go. We gotta hurry up then. The mall about to close.
All right, let's go.
When baby's spoiled.
Cut and run, bro. Cut and run.
Name 3 countries outside the United States. Go.
Jamaica. Europe.
Okay.
Dubai.
Yes. All right. Good job. Fantastic. Okay. You can't name what the girl before you named. Yeah.
Asia.
Okay.
She named all the ones that I would call out.
That's the only country you know is Asia?
No, that's not the only country, but she already named the ones that I would have said.
So the other countries you would have said are Europe and Dubai?
Yeah, well, Europe.
So your 3 countries are Europe, Dubai,
United States
and
of
Asia.
America.
Can't name America.
That's not a...
You're 30, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
And the 3 countries that you can name are Europe, Asia, and Dubai.
At this moment, yeah.
At 30.
Okay, no worries. I've met girls that are very average, that have millionaires, celebrities, athletes, etc. Then they go back into the dating marketplace and think, I attracted and I had sex with this caliber of guy. I deserve this caliber of guy as a boyfriend or a serious counterpart. And it skews their perception of reality as to where they really stand in the dating marketplace.
In places like Miami, rich places like LA, maybe girls think that way, but in 98% of the United States, I don't think girls do that. Where they some celeb guy one time and they're like, I'm only gonna date like somebody that's been in a fucking Marvel movie.
Do you really think that they want to settle down with the average guy? We can do it right now. And I'm gonna,
no, it's a dumb question because nobody wants average. Like even an average guy, given like the opportunity, wouldn't want the average woman. If you go talk to normal people outside of like the world of YouTube and there are lots of average men with average women. Most people date and marry within their class, within their education, within their race, within their geographic region. That happens to like 95% of people around the fucking world.
Why do you have to get on your knees to propose? That doesn't even make any sense at all. It just tells the woman that she has authority over you. And you're going to be licking boots for as long as you're with her. I don't know who came up with that idea of getting on your knees to propose. It was a big mistake. It's just another way of weakening the man or men. And the marriage don't last. They fight for the rest of the marriage until they separate. In the good old days, men did not get on their knees to propose. They just said, you want to get married? Well, let's get married. All right. Not on their knees. Things have really, really changed.
All right, so here's something that even caught me by surprise. You know the whole tradition of getting down on one knee to propose? Yeah, turns out it's got some pretty deep roots in medieval chivalry. Back then, knights would kneel before their monarchs as a sign of loyalty, devotion, and respect. It was a grand gesture, reserved for moments of the utmost seriousness and reverence. Over time, this gesture trickled down to how they'd approach women of noble birth, and eventually it became the fashionable way for everyone else to pop the question. But here's the kicker: what was once a symbol of noble tradition has somehow been reduced to just another item on the checklist of modern dating. The deeper meaning, the history, it's all but lost on today's crowd. I'm not even bringing this up to dive into the marriage debate, but rather to point out how history and the present have become so misaligned. Let's be real, there are no real knights anymore, and I'd argue there aren't any real ladies in waiting either. The modern woman wants the fairy tale proposal, but without understanding or appreciating the centuries-old traditions behind it. It's just another example of how the customs that held societies together for generations are crumbling because the expectations that kept them alive aren't being met. Think about it, when traditions are respected and upheld, they flourish. When they're ignored or twisted into something unrecognizable, they start to fade away. It's basic stuff, right? Even a herd of elephants heading to the watering hole gets it. But apparently it's too complex for today's crowd. Over the last century, Western women have pushed back against traditions left, right, and center. And in typical fashion, they've done so without fully grasping that these very traditions were what afforded them certain privileges in the first place. They want the knight, the castle, and the fairy tale ending, but they're tearing down the very fabric that made those things possible. So here we are, living in a time where getting down on one knee might still be expected, but the deep-seated respect and devotion it symbolized are all but gone. It's just another casualty in the ongoing battle between tradition and modernity, a battle that, quite frankly, is leaving a lot of broken pieces in its wake.
When are we going to escape this mentality? She said that these bros are not marrying foreign women because they speak little English or because they have a lack of education, but because they're more nourishing and more caring. You're describing a maid, a free lift and one for the rest of your life at that. And at the end of the video, she's like, oh, this is mutually beneficial, and if it doesn't work out for you, just leave. Leave where? With who? With what money? In a foreign country where you speak little English and have little education? Just do like a little more thinking, girl. Why do they want to marry women that can't speak the predominant language? Because they're easier to control. It's not as easy as you're saying. So stop misinforming people. Stop defending these lowlives who are preying on our sisters.
She, like most of our detractors, loves to lump the entire movement in with the obscure mail-order bride nonsense, something only the real bottom-tier guys go for. But let's be honest, even that's becoming rare these days because those same bottom percentile men are opting for blow-up dolls instead. Yeah, that's where we're at. And here's the kicker: these modern women will call cooking and cleaning for a man they love being a maid. Like it's some kind of medieval punishment. Yet they'll happily take up an actual maid job for $30,000 a year, where they can get fired on a whim and have to grind out a full 8-hour day just to keep the lights on. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Now, let's talk about those traditional women who stay home to cook, clean, and raise a family. Most of them aren't even clocking in a full 40-hour week. If they're also taking care of infants, they're probably working 30 hours a week at most, and that's spread out over more days. But of course, these bird brains never did the math. They're too busy chasing after the illusion of independence while missing out on the simple logic of a balanced life. So, next time they start squawking about how being a homemaker is akin to being a maid, maybe they should take a moment to realize that at least those women aren't slaving away for someone else's bottom line. They're investing in something far more valuable, their family's future. But hey, if they'd rather punch the clock for someone else's profit, who are we to stop them?
Until she divorces you, because the angel you marry is never the devil that you divorce, ever.
Now, I'm not here to rant about the flawed system of marriage, that's a whole other beast, but let's talk about what's been lost in translation, shall we? The only reason women got through the dating phase for so long is because they figured that's all they needed to do. It's like they reached the final level of a video game, decided to stop there, and completely ignored the post-game content. But over the last few decades, in true fashion, they set fire to the last bridge that could lead them to a high-value man. From tossing chastity out the window to embracing sprinkle nonsense, the blind feminist mob has nuked every traditional mechanism that once led to real comfort and stability. Let's pull all this together. Here's how I and every man with a shred of self-respect see it. Traditions are a privilege in themselves. They're the backbone of the order we've built and maintained. But with Western women marching to the beat of Lizzo, Cardi B, and Taylor Swift, they've lost all connection to tradition. And when you lose tradition, you lose the privilege of being treated with even a shred of respect. So let's have some fun with this medieval knight bit, shall we? Imagine you're a knight, fresh off a glorious victory, your armor gleaming from all the panty-dropping accolades you've just collected. You've plundered the coastlines, defended the realm, and now you're parading through the towns you've saved. Women swoon, peasants are green with envy, and you've got the kind of swagger that could make even the toughest warrior blush. You ride your trusty steed to the wealthiest corner of the land, where you're presented with any maiden you wish to court. So you pull out your ancient Rolodex, yeah, that's right, and start shooting your shot with every eligible lady in the city. But here's the kicker, something's off with every single one of them. Your first match? She's the size of a bus. You ask her why, and she gets furious, telling you, that's no way to talk to a lady well. Excuse me, princess, but I didn't sign up for this. So you move on. Option 2? She's got her weight under control, but she's got a whole squad of kids running around. She smiles and says, yep, those are all mine. Cute, aren't they? You nearly fall off your horse. That's not what you signed up for, so you keep moving. Finally, you find a maiden who seems just right. You stroll through the gardens with her, play some ancient games, and think you've hit the jackpot. But then you notice something strange. Random dudes around the city and castle are winking at her, even whistling. You ask her what's up and she casually explains, oh, those are just some of my past lovers, one for buying me bread, another for writing me cheesy poems, and so on. At this point, you slap on your helmet, kick your horse into high gear, and bolt out of that dystopian nightmare faster than you can say what the hell just happened. Why? Because this city, with all its glitz and glamour, has nothing of value left for you. It's all used, abused, or destroyed. You've held yourself to the highest possible standards, so why in God's name would you endorse such a mess?
Together? Hey, that's my wife. Wifey of how long? 8 years. You love him?
I'm in love with him. I love him for who he is. I mean, he's in the military, but it's not about his money at all.
What in the military for?
He's in there for you.
He tests me?
I want to test you. Swap phones real quick. I see your phone right there. You don't gotta find it.
See different texts with her friends, girlfriends, mother, a lot.
Jasmine.
That's my homegirl.
She's
pregnant.
She pregnant?
Mm-hmm. Wait.
With these texts. Bro, this is crazy.
Let me see.
Wait, no.
You had a baby while I was gone?
Wait, hold on. Are you ever gonna tell him? Are you ever gonna tell him your baby?
Hey, like you doing too much.
Doing too much?
You doing too much. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you stood and talked to this man.
I'm good. Go live your life with your man.
I'm gonna live my life.
Live your life with
We
your
stay
man.
together. Bruh, come on, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, she done. He done. I'm
Let's
done.
go.
Everybody done. Like,
Chill.
out of here.
Let's go.
It's over now. It's over now.
Yeah, that checks out.
That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed. A man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman. Let's flip it so it makes sense and kind of pay attention, right? A woman like you that's independent boss babe, she took on characteristic traits of a man, like being non-agreeable, being assertive, and being dominant, which is all A-type personality traits, which is a naturally masculine trait. When a woman takes on that trait, it's like, ew, you're like a man now. So it's annoying. It's not intimidating, and he's not insecure by you. Now let's flip it. Let's say if you got with a man, and he was very flamboyant. He didn't have any ambition, and he was very group like he was a yes man. Yes, baby, whatever you want, you can get this. He had no backbone. Would you feel intimidated by that man?
No.
Checkmate.
Wait,
Stop it. Stop.
Got him! Got him! Oh! Whoa! Whoa!
From fighting on the battlefield to grinding it out as the average hard-working guy, chivalry is alive and kicking. Men who act like men aren't the issue here. The real problem, as I've been hammering home, is that chivalry is a tradition of privilege, just like dating. And let's be crystal clear about this: privileges are earned through reciprocity, not handed out like charity. Western women? They want it all. They want to be wined and dined, held close, assured, and provided for. They crave the courtship rituals like it's their birthright. And oh boy, do they have a knack for pulling out every article and video under the sun to make these desires abundantly clear. I mean, come on, I show them in my videos all the time. But here's where the rubber meets the road: what they don't get, or let's be real, what they refuse to acknowledge is how they're able to receive these benefits in the first place. It's like they expect a 5-star meal but don't even bother bringing a napkin to the table. The truth is, chivalry isn't just a one-way street. It's a dance. A give and take that requires both partners to step up. Men have been holding up their end of the bargain, from slaying dragons or, just dealing with daily life to treating women like queens. But if you want to be treated like royalty, you've got to act the part. Chivalry, just like dating, is a privilege that's earned, not some freebie thrown into the mix because you showed up. So ladies, if you're wondering why you're not getting the royal treatment, maybe it's time to look in the mirror. Are you reciprocating, or are you just sitting there with your hand out? waiting for a knight in shining armor to sweep you off your feet. Because newsflash, the armor might still be shiny, but the knights aren't fools. They know that respect and tradition are a two-way street, and they're not about to ride into battle for someone who doesn't value the same.
Well, the thing is this. The women in other countries, such as DR and Thailand and, you know, these other countries, it's just culturally the norm for a woman to be cooking, for a woman to be taking care of her man, all that stuff. The whole independent woman thing is really a U.S. thing. Now, we kind of ruin it for ourselves a little bit, being too strong and being too independent, because then we don't allow the guy to be a guy. So there's a lot of guys right now going to other countries to find wives. But I will say the caveat with that is that they don't realize that once they bring those girls here, it's going to be a whole different bag.
But a lot of dudes are smart enough to know not to bring it in. Right?
If they're smart, yeah. If they're smart enough, the guys are smart enough to stay in those countries and to live, and they're happy with that lifestyle, then it could work. It could definitely work.
So you feel like these dudes leaving the passport bros, that's what they call, that it could work with a relationship overseas?
Oh, absolutely. It could work overseas, but you got to be willing to move from the U.S. and go there. Because as soon as you bring the girl here, you're done. It's a wrap for you. Think about this. Think about the Russian brides that they get the ring and they doing the thing. And I love my Russian people. But y'all know, once you come here and you have the lifestyle, you get the coat, you're good. Sorry, my phone's ringing. You know, as good as I do, that the girl is gone. She's got her green card. She's got everything. She's done. She's out of here. So realistically, you really want to keep a beautiful woman like that, you're going to have to, you want her to keep treating you the way that she's treating you, you're going to have to go to another country.
She's not entirely off base. Bringing a traditional woman back to the West? That's like playing with fire. You're risking her transformation into a typical modern woman, possibly even a full-blown feminist. The moment she's surrounded by the wrong influences, the bad advice starts flowing in, and before you know it, your relationship's on the rocks.if. Your plan is to bring her back to the States or the UK. You're setting yourself up for a different kind of disaster. You're likely to attract the wrong type of woman, the one eyeing a green card and a chance to live out her city girl fantasy. And let's not forget, these are often the same women who are running from something, a bad reputation, family drama, or worse. They're looking for a fresh start, and you might just be the unwitting ticket to their new life. So if you're serious about finding a traditional woman, you need to go all in on the passport bro lifestyle. That means not just visiting, but actually moving overseas. It's the only way to truly avoid the pitfalls that come with bringing someone back to the Western world. This isn't a half-hearted commitment. It's about fully embracing a different way of life where the values you seek are still cherished. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Leave a comment and share this with others. See you in the next video.